Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. First of all, a very happy new year to all of you. Let's jump into the video right away. As I'm painting the inside cover of this sketchbook, let me brief you on some background story. I recently purchased this beta series multimedia sketchbook by Stillman and Birn and wanted to design the sketchbook's inside cover. Since I was starting this sketchbook this new year, I decided to summarize all my major happenings of 2020 in a page and welcome 2021 in the other. In 2021, one of my main goals was to try something out of my comfort zone when it comes to art. I've always found comfort in drawing something from a reference and have not done anything very creative. So I decided that I will create something really personal in the sketchbook. This is the design that I came up with after doodling my ideas in bits and pieces. I'd used a kneaded eraser to remove excess graphite off the paper so that it doesn't smudge when I work with water. This sketchbook is a mixed media sketchbook, so you will see me working with a lot of different mediums such as gouache, watercolors, color pencils, micron pens, Sakura jelly roll pens, and ballpoint pen. I started designing 2021 with a little bit of a 3D touch. For that, I used my micron pens. Then, I moved ahead with painting the road. For this, I used gouache. I wanted to keep it extremely simple and vibrant, so I decided to go with gouache and painted the road using grey and yellow. I've designed this such that the road leading to 2021 comes from the left page from 2020 to be precise. I want this 2021 to be clean, neat, peaceful and colourful. So I chose to draw a clean and neat road with full of greenery around and a board welcoming 2021 with colourful balloons. Keeping it extremely simple and cartoonish is the goal. I then went on to use the wet on wet technique to paint the sky. I used watercolors for this. This technique is the best when we have larger areas to cover. All we have to do is pre-wet the paper with clean water. We have to ensure that the water on the paper is of the right amount. It should neither form puddles nor it should be so light that it dries off so quickly even before you apply the paint. Once the water is laid out properly, take the desired paint. In this case, I have used cerulean blue for the sky, which is my go-to color when it comes to painting sky. Anyway, once you take your desired color, gently apply it in the pre-wet areas and watch the colors bleed into the paper so well. There are many different techniques which can be used for creating backgrounds. Let me know in the comments below if a video on that topic will be of any help. Once the sky was done, I went ahead to create a background effect for the 2021 welcoming board and greenery at the roadside. The idea was to give it just a base layer with watercolors and then go ahead with gouache to create the details of leaves for the bushes and the shadows for the board using color pencils. Once the base layer dried, I went ahead with creating more details on the board using my micron and jelly roll pens. I found 2021 to be a little plain, so I decided to darken the alternate lines using black. Post that, I used color pencils to create the desired look. Coming back to the sketch, I wanted a space where I could fill in the name of my handle, RTsARTMANIA. For this, I decided I would make a ribbon-like shape floating in the air behind the balloons. I wanted the balloons to look cartoonish. So I decided I will just give the outline using microns and leave a little space for the highlights instead of painting it in 3D. In the painting, I then went on to color the balloons using gouache and I just kept the colors bright and random. I wanted something colorful, hence the combination of light and dark colors. Then I moved on to paint the two trees near the board. First, I applied a layer of yellow green, then went on top with sap green and olive green, and once the layers were dry, I used a black ballpoint pen to create an even darker shade. I painted the bushes on the roadside using the same combination of greens. Moving on to the sketch on the left side of the book. This is what I came up with to summarize my 2020. Like how it's been for all, the pandemic was one of the major events of 2020 for me as well. I decided to personify COVID into this germ form, keeping it the center of focus. Since we all had to wear masks, I thought it'd be fun for COVID to wear masks instead. Starting a YouTube channel was something that I had in mind for a very long time, but did not put it into action due to the fear of commitment. For me, I should say this pandemic actually pushed my boundaries. I finally overcame my fear and started this channel, and now there is no looking back. since COVID in my sketch got a YouTube mask which I really liked. Before the pandemic even began, the company that I work for conducted an analytical competition in which I participated along with my husband and won. That was something very dear to my heart. So the trophy that we earned found a place in my sketch. Then lockdown began and work from home became the new norm. I thought I will depict it by drawing a laptop in a house. As this reduced my time of travel to work, I was able to paint more often. To depict that, I decided to simply draw a sketchbook with a paintbrush. Moving on to the major and amazing event of my life. Half of my 2020 went in pregnancy with injections, medicines, scans, hospital visits, telephone consultations and whatnot. Half year into 2020, I gave birth to a baby boy. He is just so adorable and almost 7 months now. Thus began our journey of being a family of 3. Although it's been a struggle managing YouTube, my kid, job, household, my sleep and so on, I'm somehow trying to find a balance to cope up. To depict all these, I drew my pregnant self, an injection in remembrance of all the injections that I had to take and also symbolically for the COVID vaccination that was on its way. I also drew a scan of my son and a balloon stating it's a boy. Then, to depict that we were a family of 3, I decided I will go with a picture that we had taken together and made cartoonish outlines of us in a hardened frame. I also wanted something to connect it all together and bring out that it was all meant to be. I decided to go with the spiral parallel lines engulfing the whole picture. In the painting, I then went on to paint the spiral lines in gradient and chose shades of yellow, orange and red resembling fire. It was very easy to blend gouache to create the gradient effect as dry gouache too reactivates on paper. I then went on to give an outline and used my black ballpoint pen to do that. I did not want to waste my micron pens for that and black ballpoint pen did the job anyway. I then went on to do some detailing in the ribbon. One thing that I thought would be interesting is if the ribbon was spread across both pages, and I loved how that came out. For painting 2020, I decided to go with black background and white dots. But I was not impressed with how that turned out. It was not bright and visible. It just merged with the background. Wondering what else I could do, I thought I'll get the others done. So I started with painting the YouTube mask and pretty much ended up sketching the outlines with black ballpoint pen. When it came to choosing the color combination, I thought to start from the areas near the already painted YouTube mask. I love teal and I thought COVID will look very wormy in teal. I also gave it a little bit of shading using black to the hands, legs or whatever you call it to create a 3D effect. Once that was done, I went on to paint the ribbon. I wanted to give it a parchment-like effect. So I went with brown watercolors and using wet on wet technique tried to let the water do the job for me. Meanwhile, when this dried, I went ahead to paint the inside of all the sketching that I had done. I chose the colors that would go along with teal except for the scan image for which I had to use black and white. For the We Were a Family of 3 sketch, I decided I'll go with the same color combination as in the original photo. It was taken on my son's half birthday where we went with a color combination of blue, yellow and red. I decided to paint each heart in one of these colors and thought it would be interesting to design it using mandalas as well. In between all this, I had an idea to make 2020 look bright. I gave it a white outline using white gel pen and then went ahead with another black outline. Finally, it came out the way I wanted it to look. Now it's time for the finishing touches. I wrote "It's a boy" on the balloon and gave COVID the red eyes that it deserves along with dashy eyebrows. I found the face of COVID plain as it was not shaded, so I ended up giving it some boils using my black ballpoint pen. And with that, my 2020 summary is complete. This leaves us with the empty ribbon hanging in the air. Here it goes. RTsARTMANIA, a one-stop for all art lovers just like me. I hope you enjoyed watching this chatty, creative video. Now enjoy its final look. And yeah, I found the ribbon with the handle name looking plain, so I decided to give it the look of a ruler. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Do consider subscribing if you like my style of work. Do let me know in the comments below what you thought of this upload. That's it for today. Until next time, happy creating guys.